Get your man the Flute to play song, the fuck.
Dia Gwech everyone, Kojima Hitachi, and welcome back to episode number 112 of the Inline G Flute podcast with me, your host, motherfucking Inline G. Mwah. Lads, I'm in a fucking fantastic mood. This week I am playing for the first time at the Cologne Philharmonic Hall, the Kölner Philharmonie here in beautiful Cologne in Germany, my adopted home city. In fact, as of today, if you're listening to this podcast as it comes out on the day, I've done the concert. It's happened. In fact, if you're one of those keen beans that gets right into this podcast the second it goes online to Spotify or YouTube, which is midnight the German time normally, it means I'm still in the pub. It means I'm in the pub right now celebrating this gig. So if you're listening to it fresh, go and send me a message because I will be fucking buzzing. If you're listening a few hours later, even better, I'll either be sleeping or I'll be up and on my way to Ireland. I haven't been home in months. I'm going home and I'm bringing my new girlfriend back and it's going to be wonderful. And she's going there for the first time and everything's great. It's going to be a great day. I'm in a very good mood. Now, the concert, we're playing with a band called Hörner. It's a symphonic concert. I'll be playing principal flute. I am fucking buzzed for it. Hörner are a local Cologne rock band. They're a carnival band. They've done an episode on carnival and Cologne carnival culture. It's the world's biggest party. It's a very special culture unique to Cologne. It's got its own language, its own dialect, its own everything. The music is very unique. Hörner are royalty in this city. And they do this series of classical concerts where they do it 4 nights a year. And they have a full symphony orchestra with them. So I'll be playing principal flute in that orchestra. I'll only be doing 2 of the concerts. The other 2 are going to be done by another principal flute. I'm sharing it. But one of them is going to be in Essen, which I don't really give a fuck about. But one of them is in the Cologne Philharmonie. And it's my dream to play that hall. When I was a kid, I always dreamed of playing the Royal Albert Hall. I'm sure most of you relate to this if you're musicians. There was always a venue you're like, fuck, that's the one. That's my holy grail. Very similar to football. You know, when you're a kid growing up in football, you think, I want to play football at Stamford Bridge. I want to play at Wembley. I want to play at Old Trafford. It's the same as a musician. I've thought about this a lot and I think I would love to play at the Royal Albert Hall. And now, for the last 7 years, it hasn't been the Royal Albert Hall. It's been Cologne. Fuck, there's a wasp. Oh, he's gone. Sorry. Good I didn't overreact. The last 7 years I've been dreaming of playing the Cologne Philharmonic because since I moved here I had huge aspirations and Corona fucked everything and I thought I would never get the chance to play with an orchestra again. Things have went very well recently. I also won an audition, which I'll be telling you about soon, but I got a job. It's fucking class. So there was always a venue I wanted to play and today's episode is going to be exploring the iconic venues of classical music worldwide. We're going to be talking about the 10 biggest venues, the 10 oldest venues, the 10 acoustically best venues, and a couple of special mentions at the end for the day that's fucking in it now. So let's start with the 10 biggest classical music venues in the world. Now, number 10, we have, now I should say, by the way, the venues of these are either custom built for classical music or used relatively frequently for classical music. So I can't use a venue that had like one fucking concert in it. That doesn't count, okay? It needs to be either custom built or used relatively frequently. And all the venues' capacities are measured in seats. I know some venues offer standing, but they have different sides and stuff like that. We're going to go by the seating capacity. So, number 10, the biggest concert hall in the world, is the Gastag Philharmonic Hall in Munich. It's actually closed. It just closed a few weeks ago. There we are. But the Gastag is this huge, big cultural center that has concert hall in it. It has part of the Munich Conservatory in it. It has the Volkshochschule, which is like a adult learning center kind of thing that you get in every state in Germany, state funded. And the Gastag is, Gash and Stag is like a steep incline. And it's on a hill. I mean, this building is ugly as fucking sin, by the way. Ugly as sin. But it is just closed because it's going it's undergoing a huge renovation project from 2025 until 2034. Germany doesn't value aesthetic, man. That's something you'll realize when you come to this country. Germany does many things well, but something being pretty for the sake of being pretty holds zero value with German society. It's just not something they give a fuck about here. And a lot of things here are ugly as fucking sin. Actually, the Gastag Philharmonic Hall as well, right behind it was where the Munich Beer Hall putsch was in 1923. They keep that one quiet. They don't brag about that too fucking much. That's where Hitler tried to overthrow the Bavarian government with a coup and then got sent up in the jail and wrote Mein Kampf. Keep that one quiet so they do. Oh, why? It's a big cultural venue and the fucking Nazis are sitting behind you. By the way, Munich, fucking shithole. I hate Munich. It looks pretty. Yeah, grand. It's full of wankers. Everyone's polishing up their own fucking holes. But anyway, Leonard Bernstein was once asked what he thought of the hashtag, and he just said, burn it. And I couldn't agree more. So it's got 2,387 seats. It's a big venue. And at the minute, it's now relocated to the hashtag HP8, which the HP8 is the name for, it's a temporary institution replacing all the services and functions of the hashtag. And HP8 is because the address is Hans Preisinger Straße 8. So HP8. And it is where the Munich Philharmonic are home to. And they'll be at the temporary one, so at number 10th. Number 9th place, we have the Philharmonie de Paris, especially the Grande Salle Pierre Boulez, which has 2,400 seats. Now, brand new concert hall, the Philharmonie in Paris. It's opened in 2015. Major symphonic venue, and the Orchestre de Paris are now home there. It has amazing orchestras visiting all the time. It has multiple venues inside it, but the main room is the big attraction. It's named after Pierre Boulez, amazing composer, was involved in the French government for the arts, absolute fucking prick. It's very well known what he did in France for the arts. He took so much money from so many different areas to fund his own vanity projects. He was a wanker, but he was a good composer, and fuck could he conduct. It's in the 19th arrondissement in Paris. If anyone doesn't know, Paris is divided up into 20 arrondissements, or 20 districts. It runs like a snail. So the number one's right in the middle, and then it goes out like a snail, because the French love snails. And do you know why the French love snails? Because it's the only fucking thing they can catch, the lazy bastards. And the Philharmonie de Paris is right opposite the CNSM, the Conservatoire National Supérieur de Musique, or the Paris Conservatoire. I've done episodes on this and why it's not called the Conservatoire of Paris anymore. It's called the CNSM. Go check it out. There's a media park out there as well, and I used to live up there. It's a lovely area of Paris. It's very hipster, out in the outskirts. It's very artsy. The main hall is incredible. There we are. 8th place, just ahead of that, we have the Berlin Philharmonic Hall with the Große Saal. That is 2,440 seats. So, Berlin Philharmonic Hall was opened in 1963, the Berliner Philharmonie. It has that vineyard style seating, which at the time was very pioneering. So, the vineyard thing is like where you have the layers going up. So, it surrounds the stage and it's in layers. It's very common in concert halls these days, especially in Europe. But, that was the first place to do it. You do get other sides of one, so I'm trying to think, there's the shoebox design, which is like a big long hall. If you think of Music Verein in Vienna, that's a shoebox style concert hall. You have the fan-shaped concert hall, which you think of somewhere like the Barbican in London, has that. Or you have an arena style hall, which is like the Royal Albert Hall. So the Berlin Philharmonic, opened in right beside the Berlin Wall, and it was in former West Berlin, which was owned by the Western State, and East Berlin was communist. There is a couple of rumors that they built that deliberately to show off the decadence and the wealth of the West, and the East Berliners could look over it and go, fuck, what's that over the wall there? And you go, can't have it. But fun fact, for a long time, the library for the Berlin Philharmonic and the Philharmonie was based in East Germany. So if you wanted to rent music out, you had to get a police escort through the Berlin Wall to go and pick it up and get back. And I know that because when Jimmy was principal flute over there, the Karajan Academy, the Berlin Philharmonic's Academy, one of the flute players there was Colin Fleming, also from Belfast, former principal flute of the Ulster Orchestra, my old teacher, and he told me this story. So you have that in good authority. So, in 7th place, we have the Teatro Colón in Buenos Aires, in Argentina, with 2,487 seats. So it opened a long time ago, way back in 1908. And it still is ranked among some of the best acoustical spaces in the world. It took 20 years to build it, 20 fucking years. And the first concert was Aida by Giuseppe Verdi. Pavarotti sung in it all the time, and he famously once said the acoustics were almost too perfect. And there's a whole set of space. If you look this up on the internet, man, it's fucking mad. There's a whole set of rehearsal spaces underneath it. Huge. That's quite commonplace these days in general. But if you look at the Teatro Colón, the spaces underneath, it's like a fucking city. It'd be spooky as fuck to go about there at night. It's incredible, and it's based in Buenos Aires, the beautiful capital of Argentina. Which I've been told, I'd love to visit Argentina someday. It's on my bucket list. I've been told is kind of like the Europe of South America. The aesthetics of the city are a bit more European. The arts and culture tend to be a little bit more Eurocentric. I've heard. I want to go because of the football. I want to go to La Bombonera to see Boca Juniors. But one day. Okay, number 6 on the list. We have Carnegie Hall, the Stern Auditorium, which has 2,804 seats. Opened in 1891. Now, when I put this into Google and started doing some research, the first thing that came up, opened in 1891, the most famous concert hall in the world. I wonder who fucking wrote this. I wonder what nationality wrote this. You guys think we're all obsessed with Carnegie Hall. We're not. Most of us don't have a fucking clue what it is. We don't know. We have our own venues, okay? We're not obsessed with it the way Americans are. You're so up your fucking hole sometimes. But it is an incredible venue. Opening night was conducted by, does anyone know this? Opening night of Carnegie Hall. Who was the conductor? Oh, that's lovely. Did anyone get it? Tchaikovsky. And within Carnegie Hall as well, they used to have a cinema for a long time, which once then got bought over by Odeon. I think it only stopped in like 2003 or something, the cinema. And there was a rumor that in the 70s they were showing loads of gay porn in the cinema. It's mad. So they lost, Carnegie Hall, it used to be home to the New York Philharmonic Orchestra, and they lost the New York Philharmonic to the Lincoln Center in the 60s. And after that, there was a huge demolition project to get rid of Carnegie Hall because it's America, nothing's protected. Thankfully, Isaac Stern saved it, the violin player. He was one of many people that ran like a public campaign to save Carnegie Hall. It's owned by the city of New York, and they have a non-profit organization running it, which is the way we do everything in Europe, by the way. The fact that that's special and has to be mentioned in America shows you the difference, but in Europe, that's the way arts venues are managed, because arts are not to make money. They're not for profit. Obviously, they shouldn't be. They're a public service. But anyway, you're only fucking sixth. So when Americans get all like, we're the best, USA, you're shit, right? You're the best in America. It's like the World Series, man. It's a little dog shit at the World Series where you don't invite anyone else to play. Okay, fifth in the list is Opéra Bastille in Paris, in France. 2,745 seats. It opened in 1989, same year as Taylor Swift. It's Paris's main opera house, I suppose. It's hard to say. Modern acoustics, huge stage facilities. I've talked about this before as well. Paris Opera, or Opéra de Paris in French, has two buildings. It has Bastille and it has the Palais Garnier. Bastille is the new one, 1989, modern venue. Palais Garnier used to be a palace. It's the historic one. It's beautiful. It's in the center of Paris. It's incredible. They run parallel. They do different music. Generally, Bastille is where they'll play things like Wagner and more heavy stuff, and Palais Garnier is where they'll do the Baroque and the light classical stuff. It often means the orchestra of Paris Opera is split into two, and they're centered at different places. So when you talk about Paris Opera, there are two venues and two almost entirely different sets of teams involved in them. The Bastille is incredible. It looks like Camino from Star Wars Attack of the Clones, and it's right at Place de la Bastille in Paris, which is in the 11th arrondissement, I want to say. It's on the line 5 anyway. And Place de la Bastille got the huge big stick. It's not a stick, you know what I mean? The fucking, what do you call that? Spar? Yeah, big fucking, like I'm wanking it off. The big stick. What do you fucking call that? Anyway, they got that there. And that's where they used to chop heads off. When they did public executions in Paris, they chopped them off there. Do you know they only stopped doing executions? I should have Googled this. They only stopped beheading people in France in like the 80s. Like Star Wars was out before the last person got beheaded in France. Not publicly, okay? That's not to be confused, because if they were chopping heads off in public in the 80s, like fucking hell, that's a lot for the French. But yeah, they were chopping heads off like to the 80s, man. The French are fucking wild. But it's a great area down at Bastille. If you go to a concert down there, go check out some of the restaurants. Go just down one street. There's a wee street down there called Rue de Lappe, which is the party street in Paris. Great tacos down there. But if you go just past Rue de Lappe and down to the left, you will find a bar called The Black Sheep. One of the best bars in Paris. If you're ever there, go in there for a pint. It's run by a guy from New Zealand called Duncan. Say hi to him. Say Gar said hi. Number 4, we have... there's another American one on this list. Okay, sorry. Okay, but this is your last one. Number 4, we have the Metropolitan Opera House in New York with 3,850 seats. Now, that is the largest opera house in the world. And to be fair, it is the epicenter of opera and symphonic repertoire. It's fucking class. In America, okay? Epicenter of... Because that's another quote I got. Epicenter of opera and symphonic repertoire in America. Okay, we have actual things. You know, you've been in country for 5 fucking minutes and you think you're all out. 5 fucking minutes. I swear to God, there's pubs in Belfast that are hundreds of years older than the USA. Anyway, it is the biggest opera house in the world, the Metropolitan Opera. There's all kinds of mad shit in there. There's an armory in the Metropolitan Opera. There's a wig shop. There's a costume shop. There's 2 big, massive murals when you go in by Marc Chagall. And sort of above the grand tier level. I'm really sorry about that noise, but I need to open the window. It's so fucking hot. They're above the grand tier level, and they're called the Sources of Music and the Triumphs of Music. 2 big pictures, like murals of face opposite each other. And the fucking things are the wrong way around. They're the wrong way around. Your man was raging when he walked in. He saw his pictures were the wrong way around. He was fucking raging. Fun fact I learned as well about the Metropolitan Opera, in the orchestral dressing room, there's a poker table, like an old school poker table. That's fucking class. And it has enough set space within the building to store to have storage for 5 different operas at once. That's insane. And they have loads of off-site stuff as well. So it is incredible. Fair play. The Met is incredible. Number 3, we have the Star Performing Arts Centre in Singapore with 5,000 seats. It opened in 2012. It is a multi-use concert venue. It can adapt acoustically for symphonic and amplified music. It's part of this big, massive building called the Star Vista. Again, this huge, big, multi-facility thing. There's fucking everything in it. Look it up. It's insane, the size of it. It's even got a mega church that operates from the Performing Arts Centre, from the same hall the orchestra's playing. They have a mega church, which is never good. But the building itself is a 40-foot skyscraper, and the auditorium is on the top 3 floors. So your classical music venue is at the fucking top, which is class. Number 2, we have the Tokyo International Forum, Hall A. And that is 5,012 seats. That's big. So that's a multi-purpose cultural complex. It has classical music concert, it has opera, it has all that shit. It's an insane big place, the Tokyo International Forum. Jad, who was on this podcast when we talked about cats and dogs and classical music, she's there now. She's sending me loads of pictures. It looks amazing. But the whole place is shaped like a big giant glass ship. It gets 23 million visitors a year. That's 4 Irelands. That's like if everyone in Ireland 4 times a year. We all just went on a big trip. Everyone in Ireland, we all just packed up, got on the flight, left a wee sign saying last one out of the country, turned the lights off, and we all went to Tokyo 4 times a year. The hall itself, the Hall A, where the main venue is, it looks a wee bit shit. I'm not gonna lie, it looks a bit shit. It's a bit grimy or something. But apparently, the acoustics are amazing. So, there you are. And number 1, biggest concert hall in the world is, of course, the Royal Albert Hall in London with 5,272 seats. So, the Royal Albert Hall, let's get talking about this. It opened in 1871. It was multi-use, but it's central to classical music, man. Like, everything about classical music is based there. The BBC orchestras play there frequently. The Proms are there. London Symphony plays there. The Queen's Birthday is there. Royal Variety is there. It's all there. It's the largest regularly used classical music venue in the world. Queen Victoria opened it in 1871, and apparently she cried while doing so, which I have no fucking sympathy for after what he did to the Irish. Fucking you old witch. Didn't cry enough, in my opinion. Now, there's a big glass dome at the top of the Royal Albert Hall. You see it when you walk past. Apparently, that fucked the acoustics for years. It really fucked them. So in the 60s, they installed like these things called fiberglass mushrooms, and that like sucked up the sound. That's an ASMR podcast now, isn't it? Please don't turn off because of that. I need the ad revenue. Okay, ad revenue. I need the Patreon. Fuck, I forgot to put a Patreon read in. How do I do that? The venue also does standing, and this is an important thing. The Albert Hall, especially for the proms and stuff, they do have standing tickets, so it would be bigger than that. The 5,272, it would be significantly bigger. It also has boxing in it, man. There used to be boxing in the Albert Hall. The fucking Cray twins, like the gangsters, the Tom Hardy played in that movie, they boxed there in the 50s. Frank Bruno's boxed there, Lennox Lewis has boxed there, Prince Nassim boxed there once. Fucking Muhammad Ali boxed there. Muhammad Ali's last ever fight was an exhibition fight in the Royal Albert Hall in 1979. Winston Churchill had his 80th birthday party there famously, and he's a fucking prick. But it is iconic as it gets, the Royal Albert Hall. It's Brits, it's British, it's full of fucking Brits, but here, you have to give him credit where credit's due. Royal Albert Hall is the biggest classical music venue in the world. Now, we're going to go to the oldest classical music venues. Now, no surprises. Fuck all Americans on this list. And again, while listening to all these dates I'm about to throw at you, I'd like to remind you that White's Bar in Belfast was opened in 1630. Just remember that. We have a pub that has been open since it closes for a few hours, but it's been there since 1630. A fucking pub. So, number 10th in the oldest classical music venues in the world is the Teatro Massimo in Palermo, in Italy, 1897. Now, that is actually still Italy's largest opera house and one of Europe's grandest. It is beautiful. It was in The Godfather, part 3, where they go to the opera. It is part 3, isn't it? Yeah. Shite one. Oh, sure. Can't win them all. Number 9 is the Royal Opera House in Covent Garden in London. It opened in 1732, although it was rebuilt much, 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 much later. That's not correct. That can't be right. That can't be right. I fucked up this list. No, that's right. Because the modern one is more... Yeah, that's what it is. It first opened as the Theatre Royal. but it's been burned down apparently a shitload of times. So it's been reopened like loads of times and changed that time. It's like that thing, the ship of Theseus, where it's changed. The parts of it have been burned down and changed so many times. It's still the same thing. Or Trigger's broom is the other analogy you get from Only Fools and Horses. When you change the head of the broom 27 times and you change the staff 14 times, is it still the same broom? That's kind of what goes on with the Royal Opera House. Next up on the list, we have the Teatro Argentina, which is in Rome, in Italy, and it opened in 1732. And it had the world premiere of Rossini's Barbara Seville in 1816. There you are. Number 7, we have one of my favorite venues, dream to go to it someday, is the Teatro alla Scala. La Scala in Milano, in Italy, opened in 1778. Obviously the most famous opera house in the world. Fuck the Met. La Scala is the place in the world for opera. All the Verdi operas were premiered there, things like Nabucco and Otello and Falstaff and all that stuff. Apparently it put the fear of God. It still puts the fear of God in the singers because the acoustics are so bang on, you can hear every fucking mistake. Next up, we have the Bolshoi Theatre, which was opened in 1776. These dates are not right, man. I fucked this up. I think it's the top 10 I've put in, but not in a specific order. But number 1 I will get to. Number 1's definitely right. I'm looking at these dates and going, they don't seem like they're going backwards. Or are they? Bolshoi Theatre. No, 1825. Yeah, the current building opened in 1825. Originally founded in 1776. Current building opened in 1825. Fuck me. Man, I'm sorry, I've got a concert tomorrow. My head's all over the fucking place. Anyway, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about Russia at the minute because fuck Russia. But you all know it's in Moscow. Number 5, Teatro La Fenice in Venice. Opened in 1792. La Fenice is the phoenix because it rose from the ashes after fires. Man, opera houses have no fucking luck when it comes to getting burned down, I tell you that. It's also premiered a lot of works by Rossini. Bellini was famously premiered there quite a lot, and Verdi the odd time too. It's been rebuilt faithfully every time it's been burnt down. I don't know how many times it's been burnt down, but it's too fucking many. Number 4, we have the Acoustics Theatre, which is in Prague, 1783, and famously where the premiere of Don Giovanni was by Mozart in 1787, the one where he wrote the fucking overture the morning of the concert. It's fucking class. Number 3, the Opera Royale du Château de Versailles. Okay, so Palace of Versailles. They have a beautiful opera out there. Not that big, but very beautiful. Opened in 1770. It was actually opened for the marriage of Marie Antoinette and Louis... Oh, fuck. Louis XVI? It's not Louis XIV. It's Louis XVI, isn't it? 16th. I think it is. Really fucking gorgeous. You look up pictures of the Versailles opera. Oh, my God. These days, it's still used, but there's a Baroque conservatoire out in Versailles, and they use the venue as well. It's used for period instrument performances. If you ever see the episode with Sebastian Bretta on this podcast, he'll tell you all about it. Number 2, second oldest in the world, is the Teatro Comunale di Bologna, 1763. Built, man, I'm getting sick of saying this. Built after a fire destroyed an earlier theatre. Fuck me. What is it with Italians and burning down your theatres, man? One of the first opera houses with true horseshoe seating design and hosted premieres of Rossini's work when he was young. And the oldest theatre in the world, which I've actually seen, and it is fucking incredible, is the Teatro di San Carlo in Naples, in Italy. Opened in 1737 and has been continuously active since 1737 as an opera house. That's fucking insane. 1737, it's just been running away. The first ever concert was Aquila in Schiro by Domenico Sado. It's older than every other thing in the world. It's the oldest venue in the world for classical music and opera. It's incredible. I would really recommend going, although Naples I'm not the biggest fan of. The Peaches class and the football's good, but it's a bit of a shithole. Now, acoustically best. Let's do this quickly because this is... Okay, obviously you can't say for certain which one's better. This cannot be... it can't be subjective. It is subjective, sorry. It has to be subjective. Who can say what acoustic is better than the other? But these are 10 of the most famous ones, okay? And I'm not going to put them in any order. That feels wrong. But I'm going to give you 10 really big ones that are known, especially for their acoustics. The first one is the Cultural and Congress Centre in Lucerne, in Switzerland. Now, Lucerne, we're going to know Jimmy Galway lives in Lucerne. His birthday party's held in the centre every year. Not every year, but most years. Amazing concerts. It has the Lucerne Festival. It is an incredible concert hall. It's brand new. It's modern as fuck. A lot of people have said it's the most perfect acoustics possibly to be designed. Like, we can't even envisage better acoustics than the Design Concert Hall, apparently. But if you ask the Yanks, they'll say something different. Because the next one on the list, I'm going to have to put it in, unfortunately, is Boston Symphony Hall in the USA. Now, apparently there's a really scientific approach to what went on with Boston Symphony Hall. I think the design was originally inspired by the Gewandhaus in Leipzig. So the outside design, but the difference was in the acoustics. So they had a physics professor called Wallace Clement Sabine, and he measured the way sound was going to behave in the hall and made acoustic arrangements to make it specifically gorgeous. And I've never played in it. I've never been to it. If anyone has, tell me if it's true. But I was reading someone talk about this, and they said between the Concertgebouw and Boston Symphony Hall are the two best venues in the world for flute players. Apparently the seat where the flute is amazing. Number 3, surprise one on this list. I've been here, and it is a class venue. And I think it gets looked down on a wee bit, or forgotten about maybe. But it's Bridgewater Hall in Manchester in the UK. It's basically fucking silent. Like, silent. The acoustics are... You can hear fucking pin drop. But that's nice because when you're a musician, you can hear these lovely, subtle nuances. Because that's what you're looking for, really. You want dead silence, but you want the sound to carry. So if you're sitting on the other side of the orchestra and your fucking third double bass does a little thing with the dynamics and you're meant to be following them, you can hear it and you can pick up on it and you can adapt. That's a perfect acoustic. Famously, Bridgewater Hall... The acoustics were so good in it. In 1996, when they were building it, or they did construction work in it in 1996, there was a wee bomb that went off in Manchester and they didn't hear the explosion. The bomb was obviously planted by the IRA from Belfast. That's our boys. Yeah. Come on, the boys. Blowing up the Brits. Yeah. I'm so proud of us. Planting the bomb. Planted the biggest bomb in Britain since World War II was planted by the IRA from Belfast. Go on, the boys. But if you're in Bridgewater Hall, you can hear a fucking thing. The next one is Musikverein in Vienna. We have to talk about Musikverein, the Vienna Music Hall. It's where the Vienna Philharmonic are home to. Opened in 1870. 1870 is a long time ago, and apparently the acoustics in it are still fucking perfect. It's known for having this really warm sound. It really just and you can physically feel the effects of it, apparently. I still haven't been inside. I've been outside. But I can't go through this podcast of classical music venues without talking about Musikverein in Vienna. The Berlin Phil, again, we'll talk about that quickly, but that vineyard style really helped the acoustics and the reflective walls. So they have you go in, you'll see them. They have these reflective walls that hit the sound back at you, and it's got the tent at the top. It looks like a tent on the top, like it's tent structure. And apparently that makes the acoustic impeccable. Another bit of a wild one here, but the Christchurch Auditorium in New Zealand, it was designed by an acoustician named Harold Marshall, and it has this giant dome, the big dome of huge wooden panels. And because of that design, sound waves are reflected from the sides and reach the audience. So they give you this weird musical experience. Unfortunately, it's in New Zealand, on the other side of the world, where no cunt ever goes. But there you are. Number 7, Paris Philharmonic, the Philharmonie de Paris. We have to put it in the list because it's got these really weird curvy walls. You almost look like you've took too much ganja or you're tripping off LSD when you go into it. It's all these really curvy walls inside. It's like a house of mirrors. And apparently that's what really sets it apart acoustically. I remember when it opened, I was in Paris when it opened, everyone was ranting and raving about how good it was. It is that good. I've been to 1,000 concerts in it. It is I've played in it. It's fucking gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Number 8, Sibelius Hall. Man, Sibelius Hall in Lahti in Finland is fucking class. Pure wood. It's amazing this one hasn't fucking caught fire. Honestly, if you smoked a cigarette now, you burn the place to the ground. It's wood everywhere. But it gives it that woody sound, that warmth inside. I've never been to it. I'd love to go. Again, players are mad for it. The only problem with it is in Lahti. It's not in the capital of Finland, which is Helsinki. It's not in Helsinki. Oh, God, I'm so tired. Which is a bit of a bollocks. It's not far from Helsinki. It's in that kind of greater region, but still, you're not going to get many visiting orchestras, and you don't get tourists going there. It's a bit of a shame. Number 9, a lot of people talk about this as well, the Tokyo Opera Concert Hall in Tokyo, in Japan. That was not, sorry, I didn't mean to do that accent, sorry. I don't mean it in that way, I really don't. It's just a fun word to say, man. Tokyo. It's fun. Fuck you can't cancel me. I'm too big to be cancelled. I am the flute world. The ceiling of the hall is shaped like a giant wooden pyramid, which is fucking class. And it gives these perfect acoustics, apparently. Yo-Yo Ma played the first concert and he said the acoustics were perfect, and he always banged on about it. And the last one is the Sala Sao Paulo in Brazil. This place is mad. The Sao Paulo Symphony Orchestra, by the way, fucking amazing orchestra. I don't know why, I don't expect that great an orchestra to come from Brazil. I only expect football to come from Brazil, and like fried foods and fat asses. But apparently they could do an orchestra as well. They have an amazing symphonic hall in the Sala Sao Paulo. So it was built in the 1990s for a new home for the Sao Paulo Symphony Orchestra. And was previously used, the area was an open air waiting area. Very strange. But it has a changeable ceiling. So they can move the size of it depending on what kind of music's played. If you're playing Baroque music, they can bring it down and make it more intimate. If you're playing Wagner or Mahler or Tchaikovsky, you can open it up to let it run out a bit. Now that's fucking class. Now, I'm going to end this podcast. Short episode this week because I've got to see a dog about a man. Special mentions because you've heard a lot of venues here today. The biggest, the oldest, the acoustically perfect, apparently. But there's a couple missing that are still fucking icons of the classical music world. Cathedrals of classical music. Places you have to see. And there's a few on this that didn't make it in the list that I'm going to push so hard on them. The first one is going to be the Vigado Concert Hall in Budapest. Now, I have to say, I've been here. I hate Budapest. I think it's a shithole. I think it's an absolute shithole. And I think Hungary's a fucking shithole. And Viktor Orban can go fuck himself. So, generally, don't go now. Fuck Hungary. You shouldn't be going near that place. It's an absolute fucking tip of a country. And with hard right politicians, they can go fuck themselves. You're not going to go over and give them your money right now. But if they ever go back to this, go back to seeing politics for a while, go and visit the Vigado Concert Hall. Very fancy. It looks like a perfume advert. Liszt loved it. And it's a generally iconic building in Hungary, not just for classical music fans. It's iconic in general. But as I said, don't go now. The next one, the Elbphilharmonie in Hamburg. You probably saw a lot about this. It was built like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I should have that listed. 2017. So it's in Hamburg. Hamburg's a great weekend, lads, as well. You can go to the Hyperbahn, go see a load of prostitutes and Beatles statues. It's built on top of a warehouse. There's a warehouse at the bottom of the Elbphilharmonie. It's this huge, big, like skyscraper thing made of glass. It's fucking class. It cost 790 million euros. 2017, right on the river. So it's a really good spot. It's nice walking distance from everywhere. You can go have a party. You can go have a pint. You can go watch football as well. Hamburg's great for that. Two great football teams in St. Pauli and HSV Hamburg. Apparently, the thing that's really famous in the Elbphilharmonie is the dressing rooms for the musicians. So for the conductor's dressing room, just as you're walking out the door, there's like a wee handrail with a perfectly fucking pristine, clean, steamed white towel hanging there. And it's not just for you. It's a reminder as well that although you're creating great art, it's also work. And you're going to sweat doing it. And it's like a grounding technique, which is very German. If anyone's ever been to Borussia Dortmund football team's stadium tour in Signal Iduna Park, they deliberately make their dressing room tiny, even though it's one of the biggest football teams in the world. Sorry, that's Betsy sitting in. Because they think, it doesn't matter if you're being paid 150,000 euros a week. You have to stay grounded. It's work. That's very Deutsch. So, Elbphilharmonie, go and check it out, lads. Fucking class. The next one, the Concertgebouw. I've got through talking about this list without even saying the word Concertgebouw. I've heard the acoustics are one of the best. It didn't make it into the top 10 for me. Again, I haven't been to a lot of these venues, so I'm just collecting different sources and getting people's opinions on it. But the Concertgebouw for me is the most iconic symphonic venue on planet Earth. Is the venue. It breaks my heart that it's in fucking Holland, man. But it's in the Concertgebouw. And apparently the acoustics are so good purely by luck. Like, it was a really old building, and they just got lucky with it, and they didn't realize it was going to be that good, and then they walked in like, fuck me, this place is great. Sounds great in here. It's got a reverberation time of 2.4 seconds, if anyone gives a fuck about that kind of stuff. And apparently inside, you can still sometimes hear the fucking train going past, which is not great for the acoustics. Because it was built in the arse of nowhere originally, and then obviously Amsterdam's expanded and expanded as a city. People are getting higher and higher. People are looking for chips everywhere, and now the train goes beside it, and you can hear it inside, unfortunately. But it gets 700,000 visitors a year. It has 900 concerts a year. That's like 3 concerts a day. I don't know, like the fucking time. The Concertgebouw Orchestra, based there, the Royal Concertgebouw Orchestra, obviously one of the best orchestras in the world, one of the best flute players in the world in principle, with Emily Bainin, I don't need to say anything more about the Concertgebouw. It's the fucking Concertgebouw. It is the venue on earth. It's the one I would love to see. Between that and La Scala, they are the ones I have to see. Now, I'm going to give you 2 honourable mentions here before I wind this podcast up and get out of here. The first one is the Cologne Philharmonie, where I'm going to be playing, or where I've played. Cologne is not the most famous city in Germany. People go to Berlin, Hamburg, Munich first. Cologne is the best city in Germany, by far, because I fucking hate Germany, but I like Cologne. It's a different place. I've talked about this in the Carnival episode so many times. The Cologne Philharmonie is an incredible venue, and orchestras love coming here because of the venue. It's right in the city centre, which is great. It's right beside the cathedral, the Cologne Cathedral, which if you haven't seen, look up a picture of the Cologne Cathedral. Incredible. And it's right beside that and the main train station, and very handily, it's right beside the best Irish pub in the world outside of Ireland in Barney's, which is like a 3-minute walk from the Philharmonie, as I will know if you're listening to this podcast as it comes out, because that's where I'll be. There's that great story as well when they rebuilt the Cologne Philharmonie, or when they built it. First concert, they realised, because it's slightly underground, when they did the first concert, if you walked on the space, there's a Platz on top, like a piazza kind of thing. If you walk on top, you can hear the footsteps inside the fucking concert. So now they have to set security up for every concert to make sure no one walks on top or skateboards on top. Because you can hear it during the fucking concert, which is so Cologne. Germans build everything perfectly. They plan everything. Cologne people do the same thing, but they make one big fucking massive, glaringly obvious mistake that doesn't get found out until the last minute. That's typical of this fucking city. And I kind of love it. They do have a great host orchestra, so the VDR Symphony Orchestra and the main orchestra based there. They get a lot of visiting orchestras, and every visiting orchestra in the Cologne Philharmonie gets a Kölsch, the little local beer, which again, I have the tattoo of, comes in 200ml glasses. You get free Kölsch after the concert if you're not from Cologne. I wish we were getting free Kölsch after the concert, but we are a Cologne orchestra playing tonight, so I'm not going to get it, which broke my heart. But I get my own. And the last venue I want to talk about, you know, lads, I have to tie this podcast, every single episode, back to Belfast in some kind of way, and that's what I fucking do. It's the Ulster Hall in Belfast on Bedford Street. Bedford Street is where all the prostitutes were. They're not there anymore, don't worry. It's my favourite venue in the world, man. It's the Ulster Hall. It's what I grew up with. It's home to the Ulster Orchestra. It's had so many concerts over the year. It was famously Roy Gallagher's favourite venue. Roy Gallagher, the guitar player, he's from Cork, but he was adopted by Belfast. He was one of the very, very, very few musicians who came to Belfast during the Troubles in the 70s and 80s. No one came because we keep blowing each other up. But Rory came, and he always played the Ulster Hall. It's got an amazing sound. It's a beautiful venue. It's bang in the city centre. And it's just iconic as fuck for us. I actually fell off the stage in it once in the concert as well. I was sitting right at the front and I fell off during the concert. Fun fact. And every Belfast person will tell you when you walk past the Ulster Hall that it was the first place in the world that got to hear Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. There you are. And it never got bombed, by the way, which in Belfast is fucking rare. It never got bombed once. The Europa Hotel is like 2 minutes across the road. It's the most bombed hotel in the world. But the Ulster Hall never got blew up. It's our wee hero. So, lads, if you ever get to play one of these venues, or just to go visit, it's worth it. This is what it's all about. This is the gravy of classical music. This is what we do it for. These venues where you get to feel the history and stewed, where the musicians and the conductors and the composers and the audience members that have been touched and lives have been changed. You get to stand where this has all happened. These are cathedrals. These are meccas for us. And I recommend going to visit these places, even if you're just an amateur, especially if you're an amateur musician, to feel that connection with the greats, to be part of this world. These are living venues. They have souls, they have heart, they have stories. They are beautiful and incredible. And they have a weight of history that you deserve to feel as well. So please go and visit them. And if you have anything that I've left off the list, please let me know. So anyway, lads, I've got to go to rehearsal. I got to get the fuck out of here. I've got a concert tomorrow night. I'm going to Ireland. I'm going to tell you all about my new orchestral job. Everything's coming up, Gareth, here. I fucking love you. It's been a pleasure. Over and out. See you next week. Slam.
Get your man the flute to play something, the fuck.
Crocky heart le druids, powdered paraphernalia.